Hey everyone, this is Roger from Almost in Full Color, and today we're going to test the speeds of vehicles in Fortnite. Before we can get started though, we have to figure out distance in Fortnite, and the research online did not help with this. I found various results that talked about the squares on the map, but most of them had things like this where they guessed the average human height, and we can't use this. But the fact is, guns tells us distance, so we can use this to our advantage. So in order to test this, me and my intern are going to go out and build 10 mats on the ground. And we're going to stand at various locations and measure and see how much of a distance we get by using the sniper rifle. The average we got here is shown here, and this is our best result, which is 50. So we had various others around 50, 51, but we felt 50 was the best throughout our test. And this matches the challenges that appear where we have to take out an enemy 5 meters or less, which implies that we're in a build battle. So we felt 50 was good, and of course we did 10 mats, so 5 meters a square. And we can definitely use this to our advantage now. So at our facilities, we built a runway. This runway we set black and white walls down at the end, visible now, which is used to help determine speed. Each black and white wall is 1 square or 5 meters. And we'll use this to help determine speed of the vehicles. Now let's look at each vehicle and see how fast they are. Up first is the X4 Stormwing, which is a 5-passenger plane. So we're using the Stormwing to come down the runway now and pass our wall. Now what did that really tell us? Well, we recorded the plane going over the wall at various angles, so now let's look at the top view and see what we can get. You see not much difference there from the side view, but we can use this view to easier tell what's happening. So we're going to go step by step here for the first 5 meters. So here we drew a grid line over the film so we can see where the nose was. So that's at 0 meters, and then when we move the film forward to the next grid line, we can count how many frames that went, which this was 17. And here's the rest of the frame numbers. And since we filmed this at 60 frames per second with our camera, we can convert this to seconds by dividing by 60, which is shown here. So how can we use all these times to tell? The formula for speed is distance over time. So we had a bunch of variance time, so we took the average. So the Stormwing ran 0.279 for every 5 meters. So we can plug that into the formula as shown here. And that gives us an average speed of 17.91 meters per second. So now we can convert this to kilometers per hour by multiplying this number by 3.6. And that gives us 64.478. I'm going to use whole numbers for the rest of the conversation, but show some decimal places. Now we can divide this by 0.1609 to get miles per hour, which will be 40 miles per hour in this case. So what we can do now is apply this to all the vehicles and even looked at the boosted speed. So coming up next is the boosted plane run. And we're going down the runway. And I'll show the seconds each time we pass the wall. These runs, you're going to see the boost fade away. So we're going to take the average of how long the boost lasted. So the Stormwing went 87 kilometers and 54 miles per hour. Up next is the QUADCRASHER. The QUADCRASHER is a 2-person vehicle designed to go through walls. And here we go. And we're getting about a half a second each square. Now for the boosted run. And we're seeing the same drop off, so we're only going to count the seconds that were in the boost and get rid of the non-boosted seconds. So we can see the QUADCRASHER was going around 35 kilometers, 21 miles per hour without boost. And then when we factored in boost, we were getting 49 kilometers. Or 30.8 miles per hour, close to 31. On to our next vehicle. Up next, we have the all-terrain KART. ATK is the abbreviation for it. And this is a 4-person vehicle. And here we go, normal speed down the runway. So we were getting 0.425 seconds average going down without any boost. So the ATK has a tricky boost that was hard to capture. So here was my best attempt. And this was relatively good. I would have liked a longer distance, but we were able to see that we're going 0.267 seconds average. So we can see on the ATK, we were getting 42 kilometers or 26 miles per hour. And when we used the boost, we were getting 67 kilometers or 41 miles per hour. Interesting fact here, if we compare it to the QUADCRASHER numbers, the ATK is faster. I never really realized that. It's harder to do the boost on the ATK, so that may be the trade-off. But let's move on to our next vehicle. Here we have the shopping cart, a standard 2-person vehicle. And I will add a note, this is one of my favorites. So here we go, pushing the cart down the runway. And we are going a blazing average of 0.9 seconds per square. So here we go with the push attempt. We don't have a boost. The problem here is that we hit these spikes because we slow down after a push. But we can take the average that we found at our peaks. So we get an average of 0.661 seconds. So with the shopping cart, we got 20 kilometers per hour or 12 miles per hour. With a push, we got 27 kilometers with miles per hour being 16, almost 17. So now that we have all this information, we should add a control. Since we're unsure the shopping cart adds speeds to the player, we're next going to measure the player speeds. Our final vehicle to control is the character. So here we go. We're only going to look at the sprint. And we are getting the 0.9 average as the shopping cart, which means that we run 20 kilometers per hour or 12 miles per hour. So these are interesting facts to have. And what we learned is that the Stormwings is the fastest, which we already knew, and the ATK is second. The QUADCRASHER coming in third, shockingly, and the shopping cart and player last. But we didn't measure one speed factor that we have to look at. So we built this huge ramp. If you ever took a vehicle off a ramp, you noticed that it was going way faster. So we're going to measure some of these just for completeness. So here we go with the QUADCRASHER. And yeah, we did gain more speed. Next, we're going to use it with the boost. And we improved a little bit, actually. The boost wasn't a huge factor once we were going down the ramp. So the QUADCRASHER just going down the ramp without boost, we were getting 65 kilometers per hour, 40 miles per hour. When we hit the boost, we only went up 2 kilometers faster at 67. And miles per hour, we went to 41, 42 miles per hour. So the boost wasn't a big factor here. Now let's go look at the ATK. We're going down the ramp. And we hit an average of 0.267 seconds past each square. So now if we look, this is very odd because we were hitting 67.5 kilometers, 41, 42 miles per hour. If you just remember what I said, this is the exact same speed as the QUADCRASHER was getting boosting down the ramp. So if you have a QUADCRASHER or ATK, you would probably go around the same speed going down the ramp. So the vehicle doesn't matter there. Now let's look at the shopping cart. And the shopping cart gains a lot of speed going down the ramp. We do have a lot of speed degradation once we got near the end. But the shopping cart, we had 0.3 seconds was the average. In kilometers, we were hitting 60. And then we hit 37 miles per hour, which is pretty close to the QUADCRASHER. If this was a QUADCRASHER on the normal ground, we would be going way faster than it. I think we were going more faster than all the vehicles, actually. Yes, let's look at the data. Yes, so if you had a shopping cart on a ramp racing someone on a straightway, you will be faster. So to help validate all of this, we had two sources to use in order to see if we are correct. So here I went to the site maps.live4.it. I converted the player speeds I had to meters per minute and got 333 a minute. So as the site confirms, we were getting the same results. So this is good. The second test was to leave the facility and go to the speed traps on the main island, and here we see the player running and we got 12 miles per hour. Now let's check the other vehicles. The QUADCRASHER got 21.22 and we had 21.8, so this is the same. ATK at 25.26, so 26 was the result we got. The plane, we were getting some different results. I got 37 here. We got 40 in our results, and this is probably due to altitude changes. Boosted with the QUADCRASHER, we got around 29, which is close to our results at 30, so that's good. ATK, we hit 39. We were kind of close there. It's hard to get the boost measurement like I mentioned earlier. With the storm wing, we still got a variance with boost, but I think that's okay with altitude changes. In summary, we found that the storm wing was the fastest, no shock there. The ATK was second at 26 miles per hour, QUADCRASHER at 21, and human shopping cart at 12. Boosting didn't help much, changed the order of the speed here. Ramping made them all average around 39 miles per hour. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm off to do the next test.